Good afternoon and welcome to Art Van Sports Complex here just outside of Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's the 2017 ISC World Tournament Championship game featuring the Hill United Chiefs from Six Nations, Ontario and the J&B Bombers of Agora Hills in California. For the Hill United Chiefs, it's their sixth appearance here in the ISC Championship game, sixth straight appearance for the J&B Bombers. It's the first time they've played in the ISC Championship game. Here on the ISC Network, it's Blair Setford, joined by my colleague Kyle Smith. And Kyle, you can just about set your watch by the Hill United Chiefs and their appearances here in the ISC title game.
Well, absolutely, Blair. Like you said, sixth time in a row that they've made their appearance here in the championship. And the boys in pinstripes this week have come to play, given up just one run to this point. Adam Fulkert has been on the mound and has been firing peas all week. And for this team, it's another night in the circle and another night at the dance.
For the J&B Bombers, this franchise only a couple of years old. And for Coach Robert Berger, getting to the ISC Championship game this quickly is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, absolutely. For J&B to get to this championship game in just a few years' time says a lot about the team that they've put together, says a lot about the guys that have come together, and they enjoy playing with each other. They really like to be around each other. It's that family mentality like we see on a lot of these top-level teams. And for J&B to get here, and they're starting to make that name for themselves, get deep into tournaments every weekend. So it'll be Adam Fulkert who will get ready to open this contest. He'll face Cameron Schiller. Cameron, good stick at the plate, put the ball in play, gets the speed going. He takes for strike one as we're just underway here in the championship final. As you peer over the shoulder of center fielder Brad Ezekiel. And that one for strike two. So a quick 0-2 count here for Adam Fulkert. Just as the sun starts to descend to the horizon, we get underway in the championship final, and it's a big contrast. Adam Fulkert in the day versus Adam Fulkert at night.
And you could really make that distinguishing remark here about Adam. I don't know that we'll ever get the stats on Adam at day and Adam at night, but in the championship game, to beat Adam, you're going to have to do it under the lights, and that's been one thing that's really set him apart over the years. He's so tough at night.
Drop ball inside, swing and a miss by Schiller. He's down on strikes for out number one. The batting order for J&B, it's Cameron Schiller on the strikeout, Chris Walushka, and Freddie Carmona, who bats in the 3 spot. Following him up, it's Blake Hunter over in left field, Tyler Dudley, Derek Kennedy, Marshall Cronk, Jesse Palacios, and Scott Nehigh will round out the batting order for the J&B Bombers. So Walushka, he'll stand at the plate. He takes for a ball.
Well, Chris Walushka has seen a lot of Adam Fulkert this summer, most recently up in Whitehorse at the WBSC Championship. Australia, of course, knocking out Canada in the bronze medal game. Chris Walushka, part of the Canadian team. Adam Fulkert go on to the championship game with his Aussie Steelers, and we'll talk about that over the course of the afternoon and into the evening. But Kyle, a bit of a disappointment, I would have to say, for Team Canada coming away with the bronze up in Whitehorse.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely not how they saw their tournament going, and it was that pivot moment against Team New Zealand in the rain. And you could see with Canada up big, the rain delay comes, and all of a sudden it ends up turning around on its head after the rain delay. And it just kind of went downhill after that, never able to find their stride again. But Chris Walushka had a great tournament, really became a leader on that team as Fulkert pumps it across on the corner for a call to strike. But Walushka provided leadership in his first tour of duty with Team Canada. So it was really great to see a new member of Canada take a leadership role.
Well, and Chris is one of those guys who is a veteran on the BC circuit down on strikes here, but he's been playing ball for quite a while, getting to that top level, but it's not like he's a fresh-faced rookie either.
No, absolutely. He's been around the loop, played in many ISC World Tournaments, so just getting his crack at Team Canada now is, like you said, Blair, he's down on strikes. Freddie Carmona now comes to the plate, and Carmona, part of Team USA of past, and has really had a great season here this summer.
Well, I think he would have been up in Whitehorse as well for Team USA, but work commitments preventing him from attending the World Championship with the Americans. But he's been a perennial all-world player here at the ISC World Tournament for the last several years, and I think there's a stick in the lineup maybe that was missing from Team USA.
Right across the knees, called for a strike. Just here in the first inning, 2 quick outs from Adam Folkert by way of the strikeout. As Adam gets that lead. Sanford, his veteran battery mate, these two like yin and yang, if you will. Rise ball misses from the Aussie.
Well, and it almost, Kyle, I think it wasn't supposed to be this way this year. Bruno Matroni was supposed to be the catcher this year for Hill United, but he has been hurt most of the season, and Jason Sanford, SANFORD for our colleague Lance Wynn. Sandy coming back and really bailing out Hill United. You don't just throw a rookie back there to catch Adam Folkert.
No, you need that veteran guy behind there working with ads, and that one to the corner for a strike as Sanford runs through the sign. 2 down in the inning. Carmona at the plate. Folkert works. Drop ball. Off the table. Swing and a miss. And down on strikes goes the order. Schiller, Walushka, Carmona. And after half an inning, Hill United coming to the bat here on the ISC Network.
Before you get in, get going. Get gone. You need to get a tire that gets you. A tire like Cooper's revolutionary new CS5 with premium touring innovations for the way real drivers really drive. That's real life performance. Because life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
Well, it'll be the familiar Bradley Ezekiel leading off for the Hill United Chiefs here in the bottom of the first inning. He'll be followed by Nicholas Carrillo, Nick Shales, Shane Boland in the cleanup spot for Hill United. Jason Hill, Mark Johnson, James Todhunter, Benny Weidman, and Jason Sanford round out the batting order for the Hill United Chiefs. They're going to face Devin McCullough, the Canadian veteran for this JMB Bombers team, and this team really put together, Kyle, around Devin McCullough the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. They started in the middle of the diamond and worked their way out from there, and Devin McCullough in the last 2 years, 3 years really, has really come into his own, become a mainstay in the top of the lineup type pitcher, ace of the staff here for JMB, and he's got all the tricks, the rise, the drop, but the equalizer is that devastating changeup from McCullough.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's coming off a terrific performance in the semifinal, a one-hitter in a 1-0 win over the New York Gremlins. So on a roll and right on into the championship game, getting Bradley Ezekiel to chase up and out of the zone, that doesn't happen too often.
Well, for Devin, as slight a stature as he is, he's not very big, but it's a lot of motion, and he's just a workhorse. The more you give him the ball, the more he thrives in the situation.
Yeah, it seems when he gets onto a roll, he really stays there. And with the opportunity to roll right into the championship game here for J&B, not cooling down very much. It's been a pretty hot week here in Grand Rapids. A little bit of rain was in the forecast. We didn't get much of it. So it's time to play ball for Devin, and I think he wanted that pitch right there from home plate umpire Trevor Topping, but just a little below the strike zone for Trevor.
Yeah, a little bit of a dip, I think maybe sooner than what Devin was expecting as it come across the knees. And for Trevor Topping, it's got to be at the knees to get his hand up in the air.
Well, there it is right there. It gets the hand up and punches out Bradley Ezekiel on the inside drop ball, it looked like. And tit for tat with Adam Folkert striking out the leadoff batter goes Devin McCullough. Set the defense for you for the J&B Bombers. It's a trio of BC boys out in the outfield from left to right. Blake Hunter, Chris Walushka, and Scott Nehide. And around the horn on the infield, Derek Kennedy's over at third base, Cameron Schiller at shortstop, Tyler Dudley at second base, and Jesse Palacio will be over at first, and Devin McCullough, of course, pitching to Freddie Carmona. Nico Carrillo at the plate, and Nico's had a really good week, batting over 400 for the week, driving in some runs, some pop. This one lifted up in the air again, and coming in to make the grab, Chris Walushka, just a few steps off the dirt in center field for second out of the inning.
We talked about Chris Walushka for Team Canada, middle infielder, for JMB, center field.
Yeah, he's very versatile, lots of wheels, and certainly that what makes him attractive to Team Canada, but also a top-of-the-order guy, obviously, for the club team here. Here's another guy with a lot of versatility, Nick Shales, in the conversation and perhaps right at the top of the conversation for best players in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick is one of those five-tool guys. Power, put the ball in play, great defense, versatile on the infield. He can do it all, and has been a mainstay in the middle of the order here for Hill United in their dynasty, if you will. And Nick just steady as she goes, really. Not too high, not too low, but when you need a hit, generally Nick is right there in the mix of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been interesting here this week. He hasn't had what you would call a great Nick Shales week, batting below 300 for the tournament, but he hasn't had to carry this team either. There's been lots of other guys who have stepped up and have had terrific weeks. Nick Carrillo and Brad Ezekiel both batting over 400 at the top of the order for the Chiefs. And this is the thing, is it's not one guy, it's another from this Hill United lineup that can get you. There's no rest in this lineup, and for Devin McCullough, he's going to have to be on point the entire way through 1 through 9.
Well, the other thing to think about is this isn't your prototypical Hill United lineup. It's much different than years past, where it's, you know, top to bottom national team guy throughout the order. This year it's a little different feel, but like you said, still no breaks in the lineup.
Well, and a great changeup as 3 up, 3 down go the Chiefs.
No matter what you play, if your sport requires a good grip, Gorilla Gold improves your performance. Used by top professional and amateur athletes around the world, Gorilla Gold gives every athlete a competitive edge that makes a winning difference. It's the grip you want when you want it. The Gorilla Gold is approved for use by all of the major fastball and fast-pitch softball organizations. So when you need to be at your best, to reach back and get that big strikeout, reach for your Gorilla Gold first. Visit us online at GorillaGold.com to order your Gorilla Gold products today.
First Nations Payment Systems strives to deliver innovative and secure solutions that benefit merchants everywhere. We can help you decrease your costs and increase your revenues. With more than 1 million merchant locations using the First Nations Payment Systems platform worldwide, you can't go wrong by making the switch. When you partner with First Nations Payments, your clients will benefit from our world-class payment experts, support staff, and cutting-edge technologies. To learn more about how First Nations Payments can help your organization, contact us through our website at firstnationspayments.ca.
Back here at the Art Van Sports Complex, just outside of Grand Rapids, as we get set for the top half of the second inning. It'll be Blake Hunter, Tyler Dudley, and Derek Kennedy due up here for J&B. Nothing as we settle into our championship final. Been a great week of ball here in Grand Rapids. Our first time through the Grand Rapids area at the Art Van Sports Complex.
Yeah, it's a terrific complex, Kyle, in terms of having the number of diamonds that are available and the different facilities that they have for the girls fast pitch softball, men's softball here this week. They've also got a Little League style diamond that is available, like a Field of Dreams type facility. And the Art Van people, who are the title sponsors, and the West Michigan Sports Commission have been great hosts here this week. And you see a good crowd here on hand as well for the 2017 ISC Championship game.
Blake Hunter takes first strike one down and away. As Adam opens up this second inning like he did in the first, pumping strikes across the plate. For JMB, they've got to get on top here early if they're going to have success against Hill United. Got to put a run up on the board, get some runners out on the base paths by any means necessary, whether it's walk or base hit or even a tough hit by pitch. But you have to get some runners in motion here against this team in white.
Well, we've talked in the past, Kyle, about Adam Folkert and the difference between under the lights and during the daytime. And right now, still daylight hours, but in the very near future, the lights are going to come on, and it just becomes that much more difficult to try and scratch something off of Adam. And when this guy gets on a roll, much like Devin McCullum that we talked earlier, the top guys, they get on a roll, they get very tough. And there is the fourth straight strikeout now for Adam, and for the J&B, you got to put a halt to this pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Went down chasing, did Blake Hunter in the dirt. Nice scoop by Sanford behind the plate to get the fourth strikeout in a row to start this ball game, as Tyler Dudley will come to the plate. And you can start to feel that Adam is on point and is getting on that roll, as we talked about here, as Dudley had a great summer leading into this, as he takes for the opener strike one.
A bit of a knee bender there from Adam. It looked like a bit of a curve to go with that drop effect. And Tyler Dudley, certainly that wasn't what he was looking for.
Swing and a miss, climbing that ladder does Folkert, and undisciplined there is Dudley as he gets up after it.
Dudley, as I said, had a great summer. I thought he was probably the biggest offensive threat for Team USA for the most part through the Whitehorse tournament. And that has continued. He had a great week at the USA National Championship, won by the New York Gremlins. But Tyler Dudley putting the ball in play, hitting long tape measure home runs, and a treat to watch in the field, too, with the glove.
Swing and a miss, comes inside, tie the hands up and down on strikes. 5 in a row to start the ball game here for Folkert and the Hill United Chiefs as they try to climb to the top of the mountain here in the ISC.
Well, Hill United looking to get the title back, and we talked about this being their 6th straight appearance in the ISC World Tournament Championship game, but they don't come back this time as defending champions. It was Toronto Gators who upset the Chiefs in a walk-off win last year in Quad Cities. And I think it's been a mission here for Hill United this week, as you said, to get back to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, definitely one goal in mind, and to this point have, I'd say, Blair, successfully completed that mission up till this point, just giving up 1 run here throughout the tournament as we're in the second inning. 2 down, and Derek Kennedy now at the plate for JMB.
Well, this is their 6th game. They've only given up 6 hits. Never mind 1 run. They've only given up 6 hits so far this week. Adam and Pablo Migliavaca combining on a no-hitter earlier in the week. Adam and Justin Schofield combining on a no-hitter earlier in the week. It is virtually impossible to get on base against these guys, never mind scratch out a run. The only run given up was a solo home run by Juan Cruzera for the Kitchener-Hallman Twins, the Can-Am Twins. And that's been it. It has been virtually impossible to do anything against Adam and the Chiefs this week.
That one fouled off by Kennedy as he spoils. Right back to it, though, comes Folkert, and he'll miss for a ball. Mixing his pitches a lot, rising the ladder, dropping into the dirt, changing the eye level of the hitters. 3-1 count here as Kennedy trying to start something for JMB, and that one on the corner for called strike 2. Runs it full now at 3-2. It's been quick and efficient out of Folkert. 5 strikeouts to this point. Payoff and lifted up and out of play.
Well, a good hack there by Derek Kennedy, but for a 3-2 pitch, Adam Folker didn't just come right down Broadway with that pitch. He put it out at the top corner of the zone, and for the batter, there's really not a lot you can do with that other than fouling it off.
Just get a piece of it. Find a way to stay alive, really, here in the batter's box. Get something. Though Adam not willing to give in, runs at full now, 3-2 pitch. Again, spoiling it off, again, climbing the ladder. Right letters high, as Kennedy again fouls that one off.
Yeah, but I think Adam got a little bit more of the plate maybe than he wanted. Perhaps a bit of a rare mistake, but again, it was up high enough that there wasn't a lot that Derek Kennedy able to do with that pitch.
Good battle here between Kennedy and Folker. Pitch on. Up and in. Held his swing. And a walk for Kennedy. Puts a runner on first, 2 down in the inning. And now Marshall Cronk will come to the plate.
Well, that is a really good at-bat there by Derek Kennedy, fouling off a couple of pitches and then having the discipline to be able to take that inside rise ball from Adam Folker. Very easy to chase that pitch as it comes up and in on the right-handed batter.
Cronk, power hitter to say the least. He takes for a call to strike. Well accustomed to Adam Folker, of course, country mates.
Well, the 2014 ISC Championship game in Kitchener, Marshall Cronk with the hometown Kitchener-Hallman Twins at that point, and launched one into the night sky at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. So can he do the same thing here a couple of years later? Not on that pitch.
Swing and a miss, inside drop right at the feet. But the interesting thing when you watch Cronk, that open stance comes set and slides. That front foot was down well ahead of the ball getting to the plate. So Folker off and running, swing and a miss. And down on strikes goes Marshall Cronk. So quick at bat by Cronk ends the inning.
ISC, catch the action.
Back here on the ISC network, Shane Boland will step in against Devin McCullough and take a called strike to open up the book here in the bottom of the second inning. Shane Boland, of course, the hero of the 2016 ISC championship game. A 3-run walk-off home run, propelling the Toronto Gators to the championship, and then making the walk, Kyle, across the hall, so to speak, to join the Hill United Chiefs for this year's campaign.
Just a short walk across. Toronto to Six Nations.
Via St. John's. And this one is off the glove and a bit of an errant throw, and Shane Boland will get a board on a throwing error by the third baseman there, it looked like. And that ball goes out of play. So Boland will also advance up to second base as well. So a bit of a bad break there for the J&B Bombers. Third baseman Derek Kennedy just couldn't come up with that throw cleanly. It'll bring Jason Hill up to the plate with Shane Boland out at second base there. And you'll see Shane Boland. We can watch, Kyle, for the pitch tipping, see if Shane and is able to send anything down to Jason if they've learned anything about Devin McCullough the summer, spending the summer together on the national team.
Just that change of foot position as Jason Hill at the plate. Just getting really into his ball season after a bit of a lighter schedule this summer, of course, with the birth of his first child.
Yeah, Jason, of course, unable to play with Team Canada up in Whitehorse, but congratulations to Jason and Marcia. Shane Boland up to third base on the swing and a miss.
And just like that, in air, they make you pay. Runner up to third now on the ball that gets to the backstop.
And this has always been the thing about Hill United is capitalizing on the chances. As Jason Hill, big cut, but he fouls that one back. Is they make you pay for your mistakes. If you make that slightest error, whether it's a pass ball, whether it's a throwing error, suddenly they've got a guy in scoring position, and now you're back on your heels as a team. Really trying to play prevent defense, and Devin McCullough is going to have to turn it up a bit here to try and prevent the Chiefs from getting onto the board.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked many times over the years about how you have to play your perfect game, and Hill United has to play something that we're not used to seeing. Really, yeah, absolutely. And we talk about maybe that talent gap, but right here it's really pitch for pitch, and it's going to come down to mistakes. Unfortunately, is how this game will play out.
Well, with that, that saving a run right there, Freddie Carmona able to pick up that 38-footer from Devin McCullough. But you have to play that flawless game. And right now for Devin McCullough, he needs a pair of strikeouts here because he can't afford a couple of ground ball outs because one of them will score a run. And again, about a 41-footer there and a good pickup by Freddie Carmona behind the plate, getting a bit of a workout here. You have to wonder, is Devin McCullough now, this will be his 9th straight inning. That's not a huge workload, but at the same time, is he showing some signs of fatigue here with a couple of pitches into the dirt? There's the changeup, swing and a miss. Down goes Jason Hill. And that is the one pitch that is the great equalizer for Devin McCullough. It's his go-to pitch when he needs that strikeout or when he needs to get back into the game and be able to pull it out of the pocket there and get Jason Hill.
Well, I said earlier, it's the great equalizer. And it is just that for McCullough. When he needs it, it's a bread and butter pitch, too. He's not afraid to throw it in any sort of count, no matter what it is, when he offers it.
So I'll bring up Mark Johnson, and he chases one down and out of the zone. And Mark has had a pretty good summer. Competed well, we thought, with Team Canada up in Whitehorse. It was his first opportunity at the World Championship with Team Canada, and I thought he was one of the better players up there in Whitehorse.
Yeah, definitely had a great week up there as Boland stays put, not able to cash himself in on the ball that skipped away from Carmona. But Mark had a great summer, had a great week up in Whitehorse. But I was really impressed because Mark was in a dogfight for a position on Team Canada, came to camp in June, and really staked his claim to getting on that team. Got on and was a good hitter and played a great week up in Whitehorse. So kudos to Mark for his week this summer.
Chases upstairs there for strike two. Well, you and I were at that camp, and we both thought that he had played his way onto the team. In fact, he did. As you said, picked up what were essentially his first hits in a Team Canada uniform. And I thought, again, was one of their more consistent hitters, as he always does here at the ISC World Tournament. He's driving in runs for the Chiefs, 5 RBIs here for the week, and looks at that changeup just off the outside corner. But Mark Johnson, one of the top players around, and continues to prove it here at the ISC this week. Opportunity to drive in another run to get the Chiefs out in front. Shane Boland over at third base. Reached on an error up to second and a pass ball, but swing and a miss. Underneath that rise ball, down goes Mark Johnson for the second out of the inning. And we talked about Devin McCullough needed a couple of strikeouts because you couldn't afford a slow roller on the infield. And he's got both of them. and that'll bring him now to James Todhunter, the 7 batter in the order for the Hill United Chiefs.
Yeah, definitely has buckled down here, has Devin, and worked his way 2/3 out of the problem as that one into the dirt. And like you said, Blair, you got to start to think fatigue starting to settle in on the young right-hander for JMB. Try and get through this inning and get a rest. Hopefully JMB can have a bit of an extended inning to give Devin a little bit more of a break.
Well, changeup again, pulls that one, and that one bounced, it looked like right on the plate, but Todhunter unable to hold back.
Here's a guy for Hill United that just quietly goes about his business, puts together good campaigns, plays solid defense up the middle, and just an all-around stalwart in the lineup for Hill United, even for the Aussies, but definitely in the last couple of years for Hill United.
Yeah, I thought he really improved his game. He had a pretty tough 2015 for both Hill United and the Aussies. It was a tough summer for Todhunter, but he stayed with it, has persevered, and has become a pretty good hitter in his own right. This one is lifted up and fouled down the left side. And Todhunter, again, there's no break in this lineup. He looks pretty slight there at the plate, but he's got some pop and put the ball over the fence from time to time.
Well, really and truly, anybody can hit a home run nowadays with the bats the way they are, but no slight to Todhunter. But the thing I'm always impressed with James is how fast he gets the barrel of the bat to the ball and hands coming through the strike zone. Really, a lot of power generated through the swing here from JT.
Downstairs, McCullough misses. And right now it seems like Devin is struggling to find the strike zone. Again, we wondered about the fatigue. 7 very tense nail-biter innings against the Gremlins. You roll over, you got to come right into here against this Hill United lineup with no breaks in the lineup. And struggling to find the strike zone other than with the changeup right now. Got a lot of it there. And that one fouled off by Devin McCullough. A bit of body language there from Freddie Carmona, too. Seems like he's got a bit of concern about what's going on here right now. Of course, Shane Boland out at third base. Opportunity here still for Hill United to get out on top. 2 down in the inning. James Todhunter here at the plate for Hill United Chiefs. We're scoreless. It's only the bottom of the second inning. And fouled again at the plate.
Not to belabor that point, but when we talk about fatigue and carrying that over from that tough nail-biting game against the Gremlins, adrenaline's going to carry you so far, and the big up from the win and punching your ticket to the championship game for the first time, now you have to start to control the emotions because adrenaline's worn off from that win. Now it's all about emotions and controlling the tempo and controlling your breathing, really, to get that pitch through and to find your correct release point.
Again, fouled off at the plate. And you think back a few years back, Kyle, the New York Yankees, they had a fairly deep lineup, but they were that type of team that they didn't chase any bad pitches, and they would just foul stuff off, get really deep into the counts against every pitcher. And this is what we've seen here the last couple of at-bats with the Hill United guys. Even though there were a couple of strikeouts there, they're making Devin McCullough throw a lot of pitches out there. This is probably his 20th pitch of the inning, I've got to think, at least close to that. And that one upstairs, they know on the appeal he did not swing. And James Todhunter works a walk. So now runners on the corners for Benny Weidman, the 8 batter. We talked about Shane Boland being a newcomer to the Hill United Chiefs. Here's another one, Benny Weidman. And Benny had a couple summers off as he dealt with some family issues back at home, but happy to see Benny here back on the circuit this summer with the Chiefs.
Yeah, definitely nice to see Benny back out on the major circuit and really coming through for Hill United. Had a good summer. And really, you have to think, Blair, he's starting to make a name for himself again and start to put himself into the equation for Team Canada at some point.
Well, the knock on Benny was always great defense. Can he do it at the plate?
Yeah.
And we've seen him do it here this week. He's had a really good week here with the Chiefs. And now, do you put James Todhunter in motion if you are skipper John Hill? You see John right there running through the signs. Number 99, James Todhunter, having a good look over to see what is going to be in play here. I don't think so. With 2 out early in the game, you don't need to force the action here. You got a good hitter at the plate. And
don't need to run into an out.
That's right. Let's see what happens. You see the 3 sign there from catcher Freddie Carmona, and fouled off at the plate Benny Weidman. Must be a Leaf fan wearing number 67.
There's always next year.
Say that a lot around Toronto.
You saw after when they got the walk on Todhunter, you saw a little bit of a body language from McCullough. Thought they had him on the strikeout, and now he's got to reset here to Weidman.
And again, fouled off by the Hill United Chiefs, and making Devin McCullough really work hard here this inning. He had a really clean first, 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts and a flyout, and I think he was out of that first, Kyle, with probably only around 8 or 9 pitches. But he's really having to work here. He's closing in on 30 pitches for the inning. Jason Sanford, the 9 batter for Hill United, waits on deck. But right now it's McCullough and Benny Weidman. And here's a ground ball, and that's going to get through. Shane Boland is going to score, and Hill United up on top, 1-0. RBI single for Benny Weidman. James Todhunter up to second on the play.
Well, Weidman just stayed through the ball, put it right back on the left side, and does the job here for Hill United as they strike first. And one would think, Blair, the way Folker's throwing, that could be a monumental run.
Could one be enough? You never know. It is sometimes the occasion where somebody can just run into one, and there's certainly plenty of pop in this J&B Bombers lineup. You don't want to say that that's going to be it, but the way that Adam is throwing, as you said, it is going to loom pretty large here right now. Jason Sanford, the 9 batter in the order, and the 6th batter here this inning, steps up to the plate for Hill United. And he is going to lift this one up, a little slow looper right out to the shortstop Cameron Schiller. But for the Hill United Chiefs, they score an unearned run. Shane Boland comes around on the error, and Hill United won. J&B Bombers no score. We'll head to the top of the 3rd coming up here on the ISC Network.
Consumers Digest called Cooper Zeon RS3A tires a best buy. We invite you to buy a set and find out for yourself. Put Cooper tires on your car today.
Got a turncoat out here, Brad.
Line for Devo.
No, it's him.
We just want to see a good, clean game. 1-0.
We already got the one.
Back for the top of the 3rd inning here on the ISC Network. Kyle Smith, Blair Setford here with you for the championship game of the 2017 ISC World Tournament. As Folker back to work here for Hill United. Hill face Palacios, Nihai, and Cameron Schiller, the 8-9-1 hitters for J&B. 1 over the minimum, 6 strikeouts to this point for Adam Folker. Hasn't had a use of his defense. And a good drop swing and a miss by Palacios.
Yeah, it's been pretty much a king in his court type of effort here for Adam and Jason Sanford right now.
Hands high. That one skips in the dirt for ball to Palacios. JMB would like to extend this inning if they can. Get a little breather here for their pitcher, Devin McCullough, after a very lengthy inning in the bottom half of the second inning, as Hill United strikes for one, leaves 2 runners on, as McCullough almost worked out of a jam, gave up that run on the Ben Weidman RBI single, and Hill United couldn't do any more as they take that 1-0 lead, and like we said, Blair, that could be enough on a day like today for Adam Fulkerd, as he's worked a 3-1 count here to Palacios. And a little high drop, swing and foul back. 3-2 now.
Well, Kyle, there's nothing like experience coming into an ISC championship game, too. And we talked about this off the top. It's the 6th straight championship game for the Hill United Chiefs. For Adam, this is his 7th ISC championship game. In fact, no, I think it's his 8th, actually, in terms of games that he's appeared in. If you count that 2010 game as down on strikes goes Palacios. So yet another strikeout for Adam as he is just mowing down the Bombers here right now. But going all the way back to 2009 for Adam, his first appearance in the ISC championship game. Kyle, you worked that game, and that was a pitcher's duel with Dean Holine.
Yeah, Dean Holine and Adam Fulkerd went toe-to-toe, and it was Holine who was able to throw the glove up in the air at the end of that one in Quad Cities, as the Holman Twins claimed victory. Actually, that'd be the River Shark Twins.
That was the first of 2 for the River Shark Twins that year. I think it was, or was it the second? No, it was the second of 2 for the River Shark Twins. Ground ball and an easy flip, 4-3 on your scorecard, as James Todd Hunter at second base here this week. The easy toss to first base, and Jason Hill manning the 1 bag for Hill United Chiefs here this week.
So Cameron Schiller now at the plate. Schiller struck out back in the first inning and fills it up for a call to strike. And you know, Blair, when you talked about the experience in a championship game, you look at the guys on Hill United, they've been there, they've done that. For JMB, you look at this roster, and everyone, their first time to an ISC championship game, when you look at that roster. So this is an experience unto itself for the JMB squad.
Yeah, absolutely. First time for the franchise, as you said, first time for everybody through that lineup. And it is absolutely a different experience. You know, you can talk about national team experience, and you can talk about winning tournaments here and there, but there is nothing else like an ISC World Championship game. And it is a different feeling out there. And for the first time through, and knowing that you've got to try and scratch something out now against Adam Fulkerd, you got to just take it as it comes. You can't try to force anything. Here's a 1-hopper by Schiller. Good play over there by Nick Shales to come across, and a good strong throw to get Schiller. But something to work on there. A couple of guys now getting the ball in play, and I think that's baby steps for the Bombers.
You take a small stride, maybe call that a small victory. But again, up and down they go here in the top half of the third inning. And nothing to show. It's 1-0 for the Hill United Chiefs on the ISC network.
Free means different things to different people. Free is the laughter we share together. Free are the tears of joy on that special day. Free is the ability to express yourself. Free is the air dancing around your fingers. Free feels good, and so does saving. At First Ontario Credit Union, our members always get free checking, free ATM use, free debit, free deposits, free e-statements, and new members get a free gift. Visit freeisgood.ca and get money doing better for you at First Ontario Credit Union.
Back to the top of the shop for the Hill United Chiefs here. Bottom of the third inning, Bradley Ezekiel will lead off again. And Bradley struck out, called strike 3 back in the first inning. You don't get that often with Bradley. High average, hits for power, great defense, one of those 5-tool players. And swing, and this one is deep in the hole. And Bradley Ezekiel is going to be aboard with an infield single. Let's not forget the speed that this guy brings to the table as well.
Yeah, deceiving speed by Ezekiel as he gets up the line in a hurry. Tough play for Schiller going to the hole to his right, but a good hard hit single by Ezekiel starts this Hill United attack one more time.
Nicholas Carrillo. Nico flied out to center field back in the first inning, squares the bunt, and pulls it back and takes a strike on the inside corner. Devin McCullough not too happy with that pitch, getting a little bit more of the plate than he wanted. So again, some words of encouragement there from Freddie Carmona. Carrillo is going to step out. He'll reset. Didn't look down for a sign. So obviously you got the green light here. Turns, squares, puts it down, and that is
a drop ball.
Dropped by Tyler Dudley at second base. A little too casual there by the second baseman. And Nico Carrillo, who was sacrificing all the way, gets aboard here on an error. And so that's 2 innings in a row with mistakes by the J&B Bombers. And you cannot do that here. That's the cardinal rule against this Hill United Chiefs squad. Just too casual there by Dudley.
Well, and we talked about Dudley's defense, how sure-handed he is, and like you said, though, Blair, nonchalant, taking things for granted, I think, possibly there, and all of a sudden you've got the first 2 guys on here for Hill United, and you get to the meat of the order, and Shales, Boland, and Hill do up.
So a tough task here out in front of Devin McCullough. And upstairs for ball 1. He has got a lot of work to do to get out of this inning. And I think he knows it there too. You just look at the body language right now, the facial expressions from Devin McCullough. And let down here by his defense, this could be a scoreless game. Long time here on the board taking the signs from Freddie Carmona. And missing upstairs again. Same pitch, same result. So 2-0, real good count here now for Nick Shales.
The other thing you have to keep in mind with Ezekiel at second base is pitch selection, giving your spot up too early, and how long does Ezekiel have to figure out what signs we're going with.
There's a called strike on the outside corner. Quick look back from Nick Shales, and he's going to take a bit of wander out of the strike zone here. But that pitch looked to be just on the outside corner, from our vantage point here at least.
And you see McCullough talking to himself, words of encouragement to help himself through this situation with one of the game's best hitters at the plate in Shales.
Fouled off. Again, got a fair bit of the plate with that pitch. Shales not too happy with himself that he was unable to put that ball in play. So we got everybody talking to themselves here now. Devin McCullough out on the plate. Watch the signs too from Freddie Carmona. He's going to go through some signals, tap, 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 and then he'll give some additional signals here in the crouch. And you have to wonder, is this strictly for Bradley Ezekiel's purposes? Was the real pitch called on the tap arounds? Here's right to the screen, and that will move everybody up 60 feet of real estate. So it doesn't matter what the signal is when you throw something at the mascot, you're going to move everybody up.
Can't defend the wild pitch. Now 2 runners in scoring position, so a big opportunity here for Hill United to tack on some additional runs.
That's Nico Carrillo now at second base. Bradley Ezekiel up to third. Hill United out in front 1-0. This one is lifted up and foul back out of play. Shales going downstairs to get that one.
opponents combined in the East. Boy, they're pathetic.
Big opportunity here for Hill United. They're out in front 1-0, looking to extend that lead right here, right now. But that'll be ball 4. Gets away from Carmona, and a bit of a scramble there, but Bradley Ezekiel wisely, I think, Kyle, retreating back to third base. Not really much of an opportunity to score, and why not go into a bases-loaded situation with your cleanup hitter coming to the plate?
Yeah, definitely take advantage now, and wisely staying put. Puts a little bit more pressure here now with not out in the inning.
Well, right now, Devin McCullough's got to really feel like he's in a bit of a vice here because he can't throw some strikes, and when he does, he's getting a lot of the plate, and you don't want to leave anything out here for Shane Bowen. This game could be over in a hurry. Line shot, caught, Schiller back to first, double play, and boy, there is some fancy-looking defense right there. Helping him out is Cameron Schiller.
Definitely a nice, hard-hit ball, quick hands by Schiller. And Shales was off on contact thinking it's through. And an easy double play puts 2 out. And the bigger threat here, Blair, is no runs come in, but still 2 runners in scoring position.
Well, the defense got him into this jam, and now they're 2/3 of the way to helping him out of it. And if he can get Jason Hill, it will be a big turnaround here for the J&B Bombers. Perhaps a big momentum changer here right now as 2/3 of the way to getting out of this jam, but still some work to do. Jason Hill, still very dangerous at the plate, and Nico Carrillo and Bradley Ezekiel still over at third base. Nico looking in from second. Here, you can look over Nico's shoulder and see exactly what he's seeing right here with this great shot.
McCullough was 2/3 of the way out of the problem the last inning in the second. 2/3 out of the way of the jam here in the third. And now time called as Tyler Dudley wants to have a word with his pitcher.
Well, Jason Hill is a dead pull hitter by and large. So if you keep the ball on the inside, he is going to hammer it hard down that right side. And everybody over there has got to be ready for that play. So a long set here to get ready for this next pitch. And here's a ground ball. Little slow roller up to first, the flip, and they're out of it as the defense comes to the rescue after all. Hill United strand 2, but it's a great-looking double play by Cameron Schiller that gets Hill United.
No matter what you play, if your sport requires a good grip, Gorilla Gold improves your performance. Used by top professional amateur athletes around the world, Gorilla Gold gives every athlete a competitive edge that makes a winning difference. It's the grip you want when you want it. The Gorilla Gold is approved for use by all of the major fastball and fast-pitch softball organizations. So when you need to be at your best, to reach back and get that big strikeout, reach for your Gorilla Gold first. Visit us online at GorillaGold.com to order your Gorilla Gold products today.
First Nations Payment Systems strives to deliver innovative and secure solutions that benefit merchants everywhere. We can help you decrease your costs and increase your revenues. With more than 1 million merchant locations using the First Nations Payment Systems platform worldwide, you can't go wrong by making the switch. When you partner with First Nations Payments, your clients will benefit from our world-class payment experts, support staff, and cutting-edge technologies. To learn more about how First Nations Payments can help your organization, contact us through our website at firstnationspayments.ca.
Top half of the fourth inning here on the ISC Network. Kyle Smith, Blair Setford here with you on a bright sunny day here in Grand Rapids, Michigan at the Art Van Sports Complex, site of the 2017 ISC World Tournament. 1-0 here for Hill United as we get into the meat of the order for J&B. It's Chris Volushka, Freddie Carmona, and Blake Hunter who will be due up. Volushka struck out back in the first inning. It's kind of a ongoing story, if you will, almost like Groundhog Day. Strikeout, strikeout, strikeout for Volushka, Carmona, and Hunter, their first time up. 7 thus far for Adam Fulkert through 3 innings.
Well, the top of the order here has got to start to do something for the J&B Bombers if they are going to make any kind of noise here at all against Adam Fulkert. You can't just go strikeout, strikeout, and let Adam keep on that roll.
Even just see more pitches. Work some counts. If you can't find your way to the bases, make Adam work a little bit and give Devin a bit more of a break on the bench. Extend this inning if you can. As that one gets fouled off, maybe caught a piece of Jason Sanford as he's a little slow back to the crouch. Fulkert, though, he's ready to go. Comes down and away for a ball.
Kyle, we don't have the pitch tracker on Adam Fulkert, but I would assume that his ratio of strikes to balls here is probably almost 5-to-1, as he is very rarely missing with pitches.
And misses right there, so back-to-back balls from Fulkert. Runs the count now 3-2. Up full here to Volushka, who leads off this 4th inning. Swing and a miss. Just coming right after him to the corner, and Volushka comes up empty. 8 now on the day for Adam Fulkert, as Freddie Carmona will come to the plate. And just right there, you see from the center field cam how hard it is, as Adam just said, way you go. Here it is. As Carmona now at the plate. Check the swing. Didn't go. One nothing in favor of Hill United here on the ISC network. Glad to have you along with us as that one comes across for called strike. As Blair said, Adam is filling up the strike zone, picking his spots. And right down the middle again for strike 2. So back-to-back Broadway pitches. And Carmona can't pull the trigger. Now you got to spoil and stay alive. Does just that one-handed swing, Blair, as that top hand comes off the bat.
You saw Jason Sanford flash the 2, and that normally is for the drop ball, but I think Adam, whether didn't rotate enough on that, but that looked like pretty much a fastball right there from Adam Fulkert.
Rise and misses. Run at 2-2. Adam wants to know the count before this next pitch. Even up to 2s. Carmona trying to start this J&B attack. Off speed, caught him looking down on strikes. Carmona, 9 now for Adam Fulkert as we play in the 4th inning. But right there, you talk about the speed and the hard pitches, but that changeup, boy oh boy, is it a dever.
Well, he doesn't throw that pitch very often, and I think that as his career progresses, it'll be something that Adam comes to throw more and more often, but it is a devastating pitch when he is on with 82, 83 miles an hour, and then just comes in at about 75, and it just throws you right off your game because you're already out in front, you're geared to go with Adam, and then you're kind of waving at it, or you're just stuck looking at it. That's Freddie Carmona was right there.
Blake Hunter fouls it off. Didn't even get the bat really around on it. So quickly he's down in the count. That one over to Todd Hunter, and on the first for the 4-3 putout. And up and down they go does JMB. It's becoming the ongoing theme against Adam Folker as we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning.
Some conversation between Freddie Carmona and Mark Johnson as we get set for the bottom of the fourth inning. Adam Folker continues on that roll. Can Devin McCullough continue to match him? They've been pretty close here. McCullough has worked out of some trouble the last couple of innings. Gave up the one unearned run. Hill United Chiefs out in front, 1-0 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Johnson, Todd Hunter, and Weidman, the scheduled batters for the Chiefs here in the fourth. And McCullough gets a called strike at the bottom of the corner there. Our blue crew for today, Trevor Topping behind the plate, working his first ISC championship game behind the dish. He's joined by LaWayne Rogers out at first base, and Matthew Leclerc is over at third. As this one up over the head of Carmona back to the screen. Getting to the championship game, of course, Kyle, it's a prestigious assignment for the umpires here this week as well. The third team out there in the diamond, and everybody wants to be in that championship game, regardless of the color or the team. Ground ball, Schiller picks it up. Good strong throw across the infield, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Cameron Schiller continues to impress me here this week. As I talked about, he's had a couple of big base hits, some home runs, some RBIs, and leading the way for this Bomber squad here this week.
Yeah, definitely having a week to remember here at the ISC World Tournament. Schiller turning some heads here in Grand Rapids.
Todd Hunter tried to hold back, but called strike, down 0-1. Todd Hunter had a big home run in last year's championship game to get the Chiefs close to the Toronto Gators. Jason Hill would tie that game at 3. Of course, Shane Boland would go on to win it in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Chiefs looking to get back to the top of the mountain, as we talked about. Right now, they look pretty good shape. The way Adam Volkert is throwing, you don't necessarily think that one run will be enough at any point. But certainly, you've got a guy out there that can make one run stand up as well as anybody else.
But at the same time, got to think a bloop and a blast changes the complexion of this game if you're JMB. And you talked about it earlier, how anybody can run into one.
Well, you only have to look back as far as Whitehorse to see how quickly a game can change. Australia looked to be set to win another gold medal. They're what would be their second in WBSC play. But very quickly in the bottom of the 6th inning, things changed as the New Zealand Black Sox and Joel Evans with a monstrous grand slam to propel the Black Sox to their 7th ISC or WBSC championship. This one is flared down the right side, and That is going to be caught for the second out of the inning. Moving over to right is Blake Hunter now in right field. Scott Nieheide makes the move over to left. So a bit of a defensive switch there, but Blake Hunter will haul that one in for the second out of the inning. So I'll bring up Benny Weidman. Benny, an RBI single in the game here. That is the game's only run. 1-0. Hill United Chiefs out in front. Looks at one off the plate for ball one. Benny's had a couple of home runs here this week and launched the ball into orbit with the best of them.
Benny, lots of power, quick hands.
Just fouls that one out of play. You saw the quick hands right there getting the bat through the zone. Sun continues to shine here in Grand Rapids at the Art Van Sports Complex. It's been a pretty good week here in West Michigan. Lots of ball has been seen on the diamonds here at the Art Van Sports Complex. Page Break from Salt Lake City, Utah, won the ISC 2 championship earlier in the week, beating the Pueblo Bandits in a run rule game. The New Hamburg Mustangs rallied for a second consecutive year and would beat the Port Perry Bulls. The Mustangs make a habit of getting down in these ISC U21 championship games and then coming back to win at the last second. They won their second in a row. Congratulations to the Mustangs. And Ohio Battery, the team that Nick McCurry puts together every year, are Legends champions. Brent Stevenson wins his second ISC Legends championship. Brent Stevenson's having a great second career in the Legends division. Here's a guy who pitched in the championship game. Ground ball, fumbled, and too late. Tyler Dudley's having a tough day out in the field. And that'll bring up Jason Sanford. Jason had that little lazy looping liner to end the second inning. But again, the defense letting defense for the Bombers kind of letting Devin McCullough down here. Could have been out of this inning. And here's some extra pitches again that Devin McCullough has to throw somewhat unnecessarily. And
some sure-handed defensive guys that you wouldn't think would come up on the short end of that defensive play.
Snap throw down to first, but easily back is Benny Weidman.
Palacios really not even close to the bag on that throwdown.
And right down Broadway with that one, Devin McCullough taking all the way. Sanford and McCullough, who work together pretty much as a tandem on the national team, as it's Boland and Cleary and Sanford and McCullough, know each other very well. Ground ball, the short way to second, and they force Benny Weidman at second base. So again, working out of a little mini jam there is Devin McCullough and the J&B Bombers. Through 4 complete, it's still Hill United 1 and the Bombers no score. Kyle, one of the big stories of this tournament has to be the emergence of Caleb Keeshig here on the big stage with the Toronto Batmen. Ringing up strikeout after strikeout. He finishes with 87 strikeouts on the week here. It's going to get him into the record book amongst the leaders all time for strikeouts in a world tournament. Of course, Darren Zach, the leader in that one, with a number that's so high we can barely even imagine it at 150. But Caleb Keeshig putting on quite the performance here with the Toronto Batmen.
Yeah, definitely. After the injury to Jones, he stepped up and took over, and it was a one-man show for the Toronto Batmen on the pitching mound as Caleb Keeshig had a coming out party and has turned a lot of heads and made a lot of noise here this week. And I'm sure his phone will be ringing in the off-season, not only from club teams, but I'm sure from Team Canada as well.
Well, Keeshig will end the tournament with an ERA just under 0.8, and 87 strikeouts, and a whole lot of heads turned, as you said, as he just mowed down guy after guy. The Batman finishing 4th here this week. The New York Gremlins, as they often do, finishing in the 3rd place spot. They have been perennial contenders here at the ISC World Tournament, almost always playing on Championship Saturday, but haven't been able to get back to the big dance since 2013. And we see Adam Folkert here stepping in against Tyler Dudley. Dudley would love to do something to atone for these couple of errors that he's had, but the Gremlins losing 1-0 to these J&B Bombers. Ramon Godoy, bases loaded, bottom of the 7th inning, but Mark Aranda works a walk, and that's how the Bombers got to this championship game.
And a swing and a miss, Dudley down to one knee. And Tyler going back to batting gloves here for his plate appearance. You talked about trying to atone for those errors. The one thing he has to stay within himself and not do too much at the plate. I'm sure he's anxious to do something for his squad, as that one fouled off the top of the knee of Jason Sanford. But you're right, JMB comes up big against the Gremlins to get to this point. And still in this ball game, though, Blair, as much as Adam Folkert's in control, only have to run into one, and that one called strike on the swing. Down goes Tyler Dudley as he's trying to say he held up with Trevor Topping.
Well, he's asking for the appeal, but he's not the guy that can ask for it. Doesn't want to leave the plate area in a couple of harsh words, but I think that's for naught, because to me it looked like Dudley couldn't hold up on that swing, chased it up and out of the zone.
Yeah, one up after it, and down on strikes he goes. Strikeout number 10 for Adam Folkert. Now Derek Kennedy will come to the plate. Time called as Trevor Topping steps out from behind home plate. He takes the opener into the dirt. Kennedy walked back in the 1st inning.
I was just going to say, Derek Kennedy had a really good at-bat back in the 1st, made Adam throw a lot of pitches, fouled a couple off, and then took a close one to work that walk.
And knocked down and into the dirt from Adam, as backhand stabbed at it was Jason Sanford. So Kennedy trying to get on base by any means necessary, and to give a little spark here to JMB. 1-0 they trail as that one into the dirt again, as Folkert struggling with command here a little bit. Sanford a slap of the glove. Quick 3-0 count here to Kennedy. He takes all the way for a call to strike.
You know, it's just business, just all business with Adam Folkert and the Chiefs. You almost think that they showed up to the game with briefcases rather than ball bags, because they just quietly and efficiently go about their business and they get things done. Second walk here to Derek Kennedy. That doesn't happen too often, but a rare opportunity here for the Bombers. And trailing 1-0, they're still right in this. We keep talking like maybe this is a done deal, but there's the bloop. Now you need the blast and potentially can take the lead. Here's a guy that can do it. The only guy with ISC championship game
right back up the middle, coming right into your living room, and station to station they go. Kennedy up to second. Kronk takes the first pitch he sees and puts it into center field. So just like we said, Blair, now all of a sudden JMB maybe a little bit of momentum on their side, as it's Jesse Palacios who will come to the plate with 2 runners on for JMB.
Well, here's the opportunity. You've knocked on the door has been answered. Now you got to kick it down and take advantage of this opportunity in front of you. Marshall Kronk, first pitch swing, as you said, and absolutely tattooed that right back up the middle. First hit of the game for the Bombers. Here's the opportunity. You got to do something right here, right now.
Well, Palacio comes to the plate. It's a quick turnaround for him. He was at the 3rd inning. Now in the 5th. Down and away, misses for a ball.
Well, and Adam just seems to be wandering a little bit away from the strike zone right now. He's not quite as crisp as he's been through the first 4. He's missed with several pitches.
Been a lot of pitches in the dirt here, and that one swing and a miss. Big uppercut swing from Palacios. Gives a hole for Adam to shoot the ball through. This is your chance here for JMB. As you said, Blair knocking on the door, trying to walk right through. Swing and a miss again by Palacios. Runs it with 2 strikes. You can sense Adam turns the wick up just a little bit here now with the runner in scoring position. Climbs the ladder, swing and a miss. Strike 3 as the rise ball well out of the zone, and Palacios comes up empty. And now Scott Nehigh will come to the plate. 11 strikeouts for Folker.
Well, you just said it there. He turned up the wick and just blew that one right past Jesse Palacios. That's a tough at bat there for Palacios. He chased down, he chased up, and he chased out.
So big Scott Nehigh now at the plate as Adam steps off.
Scott won the Kevin Herlihy Newcomer of the Year award a couple of years back.
Folker works. Down and away, misses for ball 1.
I'll tell you somebody who's going to have a shot at that award this year will be Riley Macchia with the Bloomington Sticks. Young man, I think he's still just 17, 18 years old. Of course, the son of Hall of Famer Thomas Macchia. Just had a really great week here with the Bloomington Sticks as Chad Seaman put together another great young squad, and the Sticks really impressed. But Riley Macchia is the guy who stood out for me on that team.
Chad Seaman and the Sticks organization just continue to bring over some young talent and impress year after year. Generally good for a couple upsets and make some noise in the bracket as that one fouled off.
Well, there's a lot of guys who have gone on to bigger name teams. Adam Falkard, one of them, who started with Bloomington, went up to Fargo, and then ultimately with Jarvis. Well, I guess there was the Patsies stop in between, and then Jarvis and on to Hill United. But Chad Seaman, one of the top scouts in the game of fast pitch.
Nehigh swinging fouled off as he'll have a conversation with Trevor Topping trying to get time called, but Adam had come set.
Well, that's why you don't ever want to leave the box. If you call time, stay in your position, stay in your stance, call time, wait until you get that acknowledged by the umpire. I've seen a lot of guys over the years just call for time and leave the box, and you can end up taking a strike the hard way.
1-2 count. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes. Folkard works his way out of the jam. 12 strikeouts on the day. The Bombers, nothing to show for, leave 2 runners on. Still a 1-0 lead for Hill United on the ISC network.
Autotalk.com said Cooper Discoverer SRX tires are insanely good. We invite you to buy a set and find out for yourself. Put Cooper tires on your car today.
So once again, Bradley Ezekiel to lead off for the Hill United Chiefs here at the bottom of the 5th inning. Brad led off the first, of course, and again in the 3rd. Here in the 5th, Brad's been on in the 3rd, reached on an error, came around, but still looking for that first base hit. Bradley, of course, several times all-world player here with the Hill United Chiefs, and on his way to having a great career here in the ISC.
Already having a great career at the ISC, but definitely a long way to go for young Bradley. We say young, but starting to get up in a few extra years in the 20s.
Right down Broadway, called strike. Devin McCullough still working hard for the JMB Bombers. And, you know, Kyle, we've said this a couple of times. It seems like Hill United is out in front 12-0, but this is still a 1-0 ball game. And, you know, a squandered opportunity, I think, for the Bombers there in the top of the inning. A couple of guys aboard. They got the base hit, got that out of the way. But this is still just a 1-0 ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you go back and you think through that last inning. Are you maybe a little surprised we didn't see a bunt with just one out in the inning? Though I know it gives up an out, but it puts runners on second and third. You're just a wild pitch away from cashing a run in.
It's a possibility, and you know what? Put some pressure on the Hill United defense. These guys haven't really had anything to do here this afternoon. Just a couple of ground balls for the Bombers that they've been able to get into play. So, yeah, try something. But, you know, Bob Berger putting some faith in his 8 and 9 guys. Unfortunately, a couple of strikeouts by Adam Folkert there with Palacios and Mihai. I don't know. That was the opportunity, and maybe you want to try and get back to the top of the order. Cameron Schiller's been having a week, but nonetheless, here we are. You still need a hit in there somewhere, and a couple of strikeouts just ended that rally. Here's a 2-hopper. This one's going to go foul down the left side. Ezekiel out in front of that one. But I think you're right, Kyle. You know, the Bombers will look back on that one and think, boy, we had the opportunity there in the 5th inning. Adam looked like he was slightly off there in the inning and just couldn't take advantage of that opportunity. Couldn't walk through the door. Goes down 9-iron over to Kennedy at third base. He'll come up with it and over to first for the first out of the inning. Boy, he picked that one right off the plate.
Yeah, definitely a low little grounder that had no bounce to it. Dug it up and on to first. Nice, neat, and tidy play by Derek Kennedy.
So that'll bring up Nico Carrillo. Nico reached on an error back in the 3rd inning and was part of that rally. And this one well out of the zone. Nico's had a really good week here. Put together some home runs and collected some RBIs. He's up there amongst the leaders in both of those categories. And this one downstairs, 2-0, good hitters count here now for Carrillo. You know, here's a guy who had bided his time in this Hill United lineup, was brought aboard a couple of years ago to be kind of that 4th outfielder. Jeff Ellsworth has retired from the club scene, and this one is swung on and missed. Big, healthy cut there by Carrillo, but has just bided his time and has emerged here as an everyday player and a very good everyday player for Hill United.
Yeah, definitely just earned his way to the starting lineup, and with the opportunity with Ellsworth leaving the club.
And swings at the changeup, just misses that one. You think Carrillo's going for the home run here?
You'd have to think it's on his mind. He's got some pretty lengthy cuts here against McCullough. Very proud-chested as he steps through the box after his swings and misses.
Yeah. So 2-2 count. And this one is well hit to deep right, and that's going to get gone. Nico Carrillo sends one the opposite way for a solo home run, and now 2-0, and that is a big insurance run for this Hill United squad.
Absolutely, a big chance there by Carrillo, out on a line. It got out in a hurry, And Carrillo, we had just said how we were getting some long swings. And that one a little bit shorter, got to it and put it out to right center field. But like you said, Blair, an insurance run for Hill United now make it 2-0.
Well, and the big thing there, too, was, he was going for the long swing and really trying to pull it, but shortened up and was able to take that pitch where it was thrown, went the opposite way with it, but still plenty of pop in the bat. Nico Carrillo with his 8th RBI here of the week, and that will put him, again, amongst right at the top of that RBI list as Nick Shales steps in, and you go from the frying pan to the fire from Carrillo to Nick Shales.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier. Like we said, this is an all-world hitting lineup, and you got an all-world hitter with Nick Shales after Nick Carrillo just made it 2-0.
This one fouled out of play. Good healthy cut there by Nick Shales. He doesn't get cheated very often at the plate.
Good healthy cut there, getting out after it, fouls it off. McCullough laboring a little bit. You see him not necessarily bouncing around like he normally does on the mound.
And got a lot of the plate again. This one lifted straight up the elevator shaft. And that's going to get reeled in by Tyler Dudley coming across and behind Palacios for the second out of the inning. But again, you just said, looks like McCullough laboring here just a little bit and getting a lot of the plate with the last couple of those pitches, a lot more than he would like to. Certainly he'd like to be living out on the edge.
Yeah, definitely coming inside, and when you do that, these Hill United hitters are going to make you pay.
Well, it is pay time, pay up, and pay out. A long line drive home run for Shane Boland. His second consecutive ISC championship game with a home run. And he will come across, step on the plate, they get 3-0 here for Hill United. And just like that, this one looks like it's getting out of reach.
Yeah, definitely caught a lot of the plate there as Boland put it to left center this time. Bat head through quickly to the ball. And out on a line again, that one gets out. And Blair, that looks like it might just be it for young Devin McCullough.
Yeah, Jerry
here
Zimmerman,
this afternoon.
Jerry Zimmerman out to got the arm around Devin. And I think that is going to be it. Is it, or is it not going to be it? As McCullough looks like he's going to stick around at least for maybe one more batter. Jason Hill will step in, and he's a threat to go long at any time in any at bat as well. Hard shot down on the ground. Hill actually stumbles coming out of the box, and he's going to be aboard with a hard hit single, but you got to wonder, maybe that could have been a little bit extra bases as well, but he swung so hard that he spun himself right into the ground coming out of the box.
Well, Blair, you talked about how Jason Hill is a dead pull hitter, and he did just that down the first baseline, and here comes Tony Mancha right behind Jerry Zimmerman, as that now will do it for Devin McCullough. Looked as though the last time out from Zimmerman would be it, but McCullough given the vote of confidence to continue on, and his teammates out to congratulate their teammate on a hard-fought afternoon.
Well, he did what he could to keep these guys in the game as long as possible. A one-hitter, a terrific one-hitter against the New York Gremlins in the losers bracket final to get them to their first ISC championship game. He's given up 3. He's going to leave with a base runner aboard, and in fact, we've got a pinch runner here for Jason Hill. That's Håkan Zetterberg, who is on to run for Jason Hill. Might be the first Swedish player to play in the ISC championship game. I'm not sure if this is Henrik Zetterberg from the Detroit Red Wings in disguise, but anyway, Tony Mancha will come on to pitch for the J&B Bombers, and this guy's no slouch either. Tony Mancha is Team USA mainstay and a lot of experience. It's not like you're downgrading significantly here with Mancha coming in for the Bombers.
Well, Mancha for many years had been the guy for J&B, their stalwart, their ace on the mound until Devin McCullough arrived on the scene and took the reins over from Tony. But like you said, Blair, definitely not a downgrade in terms of Mancha coming on in relief, trying to stop the bleeding, if you will. 2 home runs to this point by Carril and Shane Bolin have jumped this to a 3-0 lead. It's Zetterberg out at first running for Jason Hill. So still not out of the woods here, JMB, as they now trail 3-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, and you've got to face the 6, 7, 8 batters, Mark Johnson, James Todhunter, and Benny Weidman for Tony Mancha. And as you said, you're not out of the woods here whatsoever. A lot of warm-up pitches here for Mancha. Get those out of the way. Get on the same page here with Freddie Carmona. These two have worked together a lot with the Team USA program and here on the club circuit over the years. Tony's first appearance in the ISC championship game here. So Mark Johnson will step in for Hill United. His team now up 3-0. Breaking this one open a little bit here in the bottom of the 5th. Johnson chases after that first pitch, and a good drop ball there from Tony Mancha right over the top. Johnson cutting away.
Johnson got out on the front foot off balance, and just a feeble swing there from Mark.
Well, this one is well hit to center field, and they're just going to watch that one go as the barrage continues here. Mark Johnson, nothing feeble about that one. A 2-run home run, and now 5-0 for the Hill United Chiefs. And this one is looking over and out.
Definitely now it's even more bigger of a task for JMB, as it's now 5-0 in favor of the Hill United Chiefs, as they've exploded here for 4 runs in the inning, all of them coming by way of home run.
Not the way that Tony Mancha wanted to come on to this game. One of those runs will belong to Devin McCullough. The other will belong to Mancha. James Todhunter will look to continue the attack here as Hill United now 2 runs away from the run rule. And,
now that starts to creep in your head if you're JMB.
Absolutely has to creep into your mind here. You don't want this one to end early. Hill United would love nothing more than to put paid to this one and get back onto the top of the heap. Certainly right now, one hand with a good grasp on the Carol Forbes ISC Championship Trophy. That one will be presented at the end of the game. Hill United already with their name on that trophy 3 times, looking to become just one of a handful of clubs to win the ISC Championship more than 3 times. You think about the Long Beach Nighthawks, of course, the legendary Long Beach team with 10 championships. There was a team back in the 50s, the Mary Star All-Stars, that won 4 or 5 in a 6-year span. And then you've got to flash forward a number of years. Hill United looking to, pretty good grasp on it right now to be 4 and 5 years. The Broken Bow organization in a couple of different locales, the Travelers, have won 4 of them over the years. This one is lifted up to left. That is going to fall in for a base hit. Todhunter aboard, so the Hill United train keeps on chugging here as hit after hit. At least this one stayed in the park. And Todhunter aboard for Benny Weidman. Benny with an RBI and an opportunity to add to that total here.
Yeah, Benny would be able to punctuate a good solid week for his return back to the major circuit. As you look over the shoulder of Chris Walushka coming inside on Weidman.
I don't know, did somebody tell Chris that we've got a camera there?
Just trying to get some screen time.
There's Justin Schofield, number 41, our good friend Justin, as this ball gets to the screen and trotting up to second base goes James Todhunter on a wild pitch.
It's actually Adam Folkert who's warming up, just staying loose down.
Yeah, no, Folkert was the one who was throwing. Justin was providing some coverage there. But Justin and Adam would combine on a no-hitter earlier this week. Schofield's got the Canadians coming up with his East Hants Mastodons team in a couple of weeks. They are looking to make some noise. They're going to host the Canadians next summer, but they're going to look to make some noise out in Saskatoon. Newfoundland, the six-time champions right now between the Three Cheers pub team and then morphing into the Galway Hitmen, but Sean Cleary, from what I understand, maybe not making the trip out to Saskatoon. And speaking of Sean Cleary, of course, a perfect game here this week against the A1 Power Squad. That back on Wednesday night here under the lights. Sean Cleary getting his name into the record book. Swing and a miss by Weidman, or was that fouled off? Did he get a piece of it? I don't think so.
Don't see Todhunter going back, so must have just swung right through it.
So big deep breath there for Benny Weidman. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count here. Tony Mancha looking to get the J&B Bombers out of the inning. They've given up a bunch here. 4, swing and a miss. Down goes Benny Weidman. So we will keep playing. We will head to the top of the 6th inning, but Hill United now running away with this one up 5-0 on the J&B Bombers.
Free means different things to different people. Free is the laughter we share together. Free are the tears of joy on that special day. Free is the ability to express yourself. Free is the air dancing around your fingers. Free feels good, and so does saving. At First Ontario Credit Union, our members always get free checking, free ATM use, free debit, free deposits, free e-statements, and new members get a free gift. Visit freeisgood.ca and get money doing better for you at First Ontario Credit Union.
So away we go to the top half of the 6th inning. Hill United punches 4 runs across on 5 hits in the bottom half of the 5th to make this a 5-0 ball game. Cam Schiller, the top of the order here for J&B. And Blair, you talked about it. This is the part of the order where if you're going to do something, now is the time with the top half of the order.
Well, these are the guys that have carried the mail for you all week, and you need to start them. They need to start coming through for the Bombers here if they're going to turn this around. Hill United has a pretty good one-handed grasp on the Carol Forbes Trophy, and they're going to be looking to put both hands around that in the next couple of innings. But for the Bombers, yeah, Schiller and the rest of the guys here at the top, it's now your 3rd look. And it's time to make some adjustments, but you just can't keep chasing that drop ball.
First pitch fouled off by Schiller as Folkert sets deals. Down and away, swing and a miss into the dirt. It goes. And Schiller again baffled at the plate as Folkert has spun a good one here this afternoon. Now as the sun starts to set here at the Art Van Sports Complex. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Schiller. 13 here on the afternoon for Folkert.
Well, and is the sun setting on the Bombers here as well? Because that was just good morning, good afternoon, and good night right by the leadoff batter.
And now a pinch hitter for J&B. As Mark Aranda, he'll come to the plate.
Well, Mark Aranda had a pretty impressive pinch hit appearance in the losers bracket final coming on the bottom of the 7th inning, pinch hitting with the bases loaded, and worked a walk for the walk-off win for the Bombers as they defeated the New York Gremlins 1-0 to earn their way here into this championship game. It's been a long day for the Bombers. They started out with a 6-1 win over the Toronto Batmen. Devin McCullough working all 7 there. And then rolling right into the Gremlins game, just kept handing the ball to Devin McCullough. So 14 and then 4 and a bit here against the Chiefs. So if Devin McCullough was looking tired, he certainly earned it by going 18-plus innings here today.
That's the tough part about coming through the losers bracket in the World Tournament is those extra games that get tacked on become taxing on the body, not only for the pitcher, but even the wear and tear of the long day on the players as they count now 2-2. Aranda trying to find a way here for the JMB team. Down into the dirt, he misses, does Fulker. But it's been a long day for the boys in black as they're trying to extend this game, trying to put a run up on the board, which has been tough to say the least today and all through the week, as Hill United just giving up that 1 run thus far as that one gets fouled off.
Well, only 7 hits given up by the Chiefs so far to date. Marshall Cronk with the only solid contact here this afternoon for the Bombers. And they're going to go back and look at the 5th inning, and that's really been the turnaround inning. The Bombers stranded a couple.
Swing and a miss on the drop ball. Down on strikes goes Aranda.
The Bombers strand a couple in the top of the 5th inning, and then in the bottom, the Hill United Chiefs strike for 4. 3 home runs, 4 runs come across the plate, and that's going to make the difference here in this ballgame is the 5th inning.
Well, that 5th inning, you talked about how they stranded a couple of runners, but 2 runners on with just 1 out in the inning, I think, is the bigger story there too, Blair. Unable to move the runners, advance them, and they left them stranding as Adam Volker turned the wick and set down the next 2 on strikeouts. So Freddie Carmona takes the first pitch. He puts that out into play, falls in for a base hit in front of Bradley Ezekiel in center field. So Freddie Carmona comes up with a good hard hit single. Puts runner at first now with 2 down in the inning. Blake Hunter will come to the plate. And I think, Blair, here comes Jerry Zimmerman. We'll see a pinch runner for Freddie Carmona, and it'll be Tyler McGahee who comes to the plate.
Yeah, McGahee, number 13, you just see on the right side of your frame there, stepping on to the bag. Jerry down meeting with Trevor Topping on the left side of your screen. Blake Hunter with an opportunity to perhaps draw the Bombers a little bit closer. Blake had a pretty good summer, especially you go back to that Vancouver Challenge the week before the Whitehorse tournament, and Blake Hunter was just on fire.
So he'll see Fulker now, and he'll take the first pitch swinging. He'll put that out to right field. Over comes Carril. He'll make the grab to end the inning, and they'll strand 1 more due JMB, that 2-out single by Freddie Carmona, but nothing else for the Bombers as we head to the bottom half of the 6th, trailing 5-0. It's the Hill United Chiefs coming to bat on the ISC network.
Before you get in, get going. Get gone. You need to get a tire that gets you. A tire like Cooper's revolutionary new CS5 with premium touring innovations for the way real drivers really drive. That's real life performance. Because life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
There you see the Hall of Famer Larry Lynch reporting in some changes for the Hill United Chiefs. And speaking of changes, Pat Burns will come on to pitch the bottom of the 6th inning for the JMB Bombers. So Antonio Mancha gets out of the 5th. gave up the home run to Mark Johnson, and it'll be the hard-throwing righty Pat Burns. And Pat Burns will be a guy who will get a bit of a look for Team Canada, Kyle, on the Futures squad. I would have to think they've got that Pan Am qualifier coming up later this fall. And I got to think that Burns will be one of those guys who will be in the mix, as Canada seems to have a plethora of right-handed, hard-throwing pitchers.
Yeah, absolutely. And versatile, not only in the pitcher's mound, but can play outfield and take a bat to the plate as well. So Burns, one of those versatile guys, plays different positions, does a lot for his teams, be it on the club circuit or hopefully on the international side.
Bruno Matroni pinch hitting for Hill United here for Jason Sanford. Bruno has been hurt most of the week, nursing a nagging injury. Hasn't made any defensive appearances. He's just been limited to pinch hitting. And didn't see a lot of duty up in Whitehorse either, as this has been a chronic thing for Bruno. Certainly he had hoped to be catching for Adam Folkert here this year, but we talked earlier about how Jason Sanford has come back and has taken on that duty one extra season. But Bruno, when he's on, amongst the very best catchers in the world.
Well, one of the very best catchers in the world, and a accomplished hitter in his own right as well. So it's a big hole if Bruno not in the lineup, but luckily with Sanford able to step in. But and Bruno normally a middle of the order hitter for any club or national team he's played on.
Yeah, just imagine him in the middle of this Hill United lineup on a regular basis. It gets even more potent, as if they needed the extra help.
Well, then you just shuffle the guys in the middle of the order down a spot. So
yeah,
definitely a luxury for Hill United, John Hill and Larry Lynch in designing their lineup.
But there has been some changes, and we kind of alluded to this off the top, as you get a look at the back of Blake Hunter now playing center field. I think that was Blake Hunter.
Down on strikes looking, no, that's Aranda.
Mark Aranda's on here, right in center. So he stayed in for Chris Walushka. Bruno Matroni down on strikes, as you mentioned. So back to the top of the shot, Bradley Ezekiel. First time he actually hasn't led off an inning this game. Takes a strike from Pat Burns. Stephen Mullally and Travis Southam, both Joel Southam rather, both absent from the Hill United lineup this year. Shane Boland brought in, Bruno Matroni brought in, Justin Schofield comes on for pitching duties. Ryan French moving over to the Can-Am Twins team. So a bit of turnover for the Chiefs, and that's something that they've been able to do consistently over the last several years. You think of some of the guys who have been in this lineup and then who have moved on, as Ezekiel fouls this one off as well. Ryan Thompson has spent some time in the Hill United Chiefs uniform, as has Craig Crawford.
RT moving on to the Wyerton Nationals to play at home with his brothers and
winning an
his
ISC2 championship a couple of years back. And I'll tell you, I've seldom seen anybody as proud of winning with his hometown team than Ryan Thompson a couple of years back. And
it's great to see a player like Ryan, after his success with the Hill United and his career, that he's gone back to play with his family and friends and play at the IC2 level and finish out his career that way instead of just walking away.
Well, and Wyerton actually finishing in the top 24 in the ISC World Tournament here this week, their best finish, and I have it on pretty good authority that they may be picking up the most sportsmanlike team here this week as well, which is good to see from our Canada East perspective, as it looks pretty good for the ISC Championship Trophy to be staying in the Canada East region, just based on the current score. Of course, not done yet, but Hill United Chiefs, again, with a pretty good grasp on the Carol Forbes Trophy right now.
Well, Burns has come in and set down the first two on strikeouts, as Ezekiel down on strikes. Now Nicholas Carrillo at the plate.
Nico with that solo line shot home run. And here's a guy who's got to be a candidate for MVP. You'd think that Caleb Keeshig would be getting some votes for either top pitcher or MVP. I don't know how you could give anybody other than Adam Folkert the top pitcher award, but I got to think Keeshig would be getting some votes for MVP. It's not often that it goes to somebody outside of the top two teams. Carl Golan, way back in 2007, I think it was, might be the last guy that I can think of that wasn't in the championship game. But nonetheless, Mikko will probably be picking up some votes for that as well.
And let alone two pitchers to be top pitcher and MVP in Keeshig and Folkert.
Here's a little squib and picked up very easily and neatly there by Palacios. He will step on the bag for the final out of the inning. It'll be last call. We'll head to the top of the seventh. Do the Bombers have anything to offer to stop this Hill United Express coming up?
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
Way we go to the top half of the seventh inning here as Tyler Dudley will lead things off. First pitch, can't hold the swing again as he's got a smile on his face down on a swing there.
Yeah, Tyler's had a bit of a rough afternoon, not the way I'm sure that he was envisioning this ISC championship game going.
He calls time to step out of the box. Kyle Smith, Blair Sefford here on the ISC Network on Championship Saturday. As Adam will come set. Swing and a miss down on another one from Folkert.
Looked like he took something off that one there again, Kyle. Maybe just that 90% drop as opposed to full speed, and had Dudley way out in front.
Again, a little squibber down to the third baseman. Boland on to first base. One down in the inning. And Derek Kennedy, who is looking for a hit for his afternoon, 0 for 2. Rather 0 for 0 with 2 walks. Yeah, looking for a plate appearance.
Yeah, he's the only guy who's really had a game plan up there against Adam, it seems to me.
Coming right after him with strike 1.
Kyle, just a defensive substitution. Tony Gonzalez subs in for James Todd Hunter, getting an opportunity to appear here in the ISC championship game.
Fouled that off did Kennedy. So a quick 2-strike count here to Derek as Adam comes set. Little roller up on to first. Hill takes it the short way. 2 quick outs here in the top half of the 7th. And Marshall Cronk will come to the plate. He had that hard hit single back in the 5th inning.
Well, you just saw the waning sunlight here in Grand Rapids, and we're running out of daylight for the JMB Bombers too, as Hill United looks to put an exclamation point to this championship game.
One little hopper onto Folkert. Ironically and fittingly, it's Adam onto first, and the Hill United Chiefs back to the top of the mountain on the ISC World Tournament.
Hill United, 4 championships in the last 5 years. They will be tough to beat in the days to come.
Well, a masterful appointment for Adam Folkert as he pitches a gem for the Hill United Chiefs as they go back to the top of the mountain on the ISC Hill and are champions once again, 5th time in 6 tries.
Jason Sanford leading the way in the handshake line, followed by Nick Shales. Justin Schofield, only an innings worth of work here this week, but he was perfect as he and Adam combined on a no-hitter. Pablo Migliavaca combined on a no-hitter as well with Adam Fulkerd. And really, Kyle, you talk about domination. You really can't be any more dominant than the Chiefs were here this week. Only 1 run given up, only 8 hits given up. And for Adam Fulkerd, a little bit of redemption here on the summer. Silver medalist in Whitehorse, golden here in the ISC.
Yeah, not much else you can say other than one of the most dominant weeks in the ISC history book, with just that 1 run, like you said, Blair, given up by the Hay United Chiefs, as they find their way back again as world champs after a year when the Gators claimed it. Hill United were on a mission this week, and I think a successful one at that, Blair, here in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, absolutely. Mission accomplished. For my broadcast partner, Kyle Smith, I'm Blair Setford, ISC Network. Thank you, and good afternoon.